Good morning, everyone. The Delaware County Commission meeting for April 23rd, 2018 is now in session. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. To my right is Commissioner Vice President Barb Lewis, and to my left is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. Our clerk today is Jennifer Walraven. Our administrator, Mike Cromer. Let's begin.
Resolution number 18-434, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held April 19th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-434. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, but item number 4 is a retirement tribute today for our captain.
Had to fight your way to the...
Gosh.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Schuling, County EMS. Come on up here, Big Tom. Not too often do I get to stand in front of you and not beg for something, but today is a really unique occasion for me and for Captain Tom Shover, being that he's been with this department for 30 years. Going back, I remember my first phone call from Delaware County outside of Pearline Howell was from Tom Shover telling me to, hey, come to work, this is your station. And that was probably one of the best days of my career. And I'm really, really, really delighted to see Tom reach this retirement. He's been talking about it for the last 29 years.
About 3.
Yeah, 3 years he's had his countdown calendar going, and we've been razzing him and getting on him. But Tom, thank you for your service. I am sad but delighted to see you retire. You've been a great asset to this department. People here, I know I speak for all of them, that we're all going to miss you, and what you've brought to this county and this department is exceptional. Thank you.
Thank you.
I talked to Tom about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and if I could sum up Tom Shover in one word, that word is consistent. And I told him this last 2 weeks ago. I've never met anybody that is more consistent than Tom Shover and Captain Shover. He has always been the one, the voice of reason. When in EMS, our emotions run high a lot of times, especially with me. And Tom has always been the one to say, okay, let's think about this, and has been the voice of reason.
Well, he stepped away, so I think that means...
I guess I gotta say something. Well, it's been a privilege serving the citizens of Delaware County for these many years. Delaware County's brought me 2 really unique things. First is my wife. And that story is that I had a coworker when I first started here set us up on a blind date. And so that would have never happened if I wasn't here. And the second thing is all these men and women around me. I mean, these people are fantastic. These are the best of the best. You won't find a better paramedic anywhere in Ohio than these guys and girls here. They are well-trained, and you've provided us with some of the best equipment, that money can buy. And if I'm ever here, anytime in the county, and there's something wrong with me, and I open my eyes and I see one of these men or women in this uniform, I know I'm going to be taken care of. So I thank them. They're the backbone.
Are you staying in Ohio? Are you moving south?
Nope, we live in Pickerington. We're going to stay there. Our first venture is we're pulling a camper to Alaska, and we're probably going to be gone for about 4 months.
Oh, my.
We're going to do a lot of travel, and we play music, and we're going to play a lot of music. So.
Very good.
But thank you, Commissioner, for giving me this
I
opportunity
have
to
one
work
comment,
here.
and I'll open it up to the commissioners. I don't know you well enough to talk about your 30 years here, but I've certainly seen you in passing many times, and we've nodded, we've talked briefly. But when Mike made the comment about you'll be missed, I saw several people around the room nodding their heads up and down, which is kind of a reinforcement of what Mike said. It's more than just gratuitous. It's sincere, obviously, because of reaction I saw around the room. So I wish you very well in your retirement.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I would echo those sentiments. Thank you for all your service and leadership. I mean, the county EMS is in great shape. You know, you're a big contributor to that, so I want to thank you for that. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of change over those 30 years in EMS.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot, and most of them are good.
Not 100% though. Huh? So,
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, again, thank you, and good luck on your trip, and hopefully it doesn't take you 4 months to get to Alaska.
A lot of sights to see between there.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to congratulate you and thank you too, Captain, and Commissioner Benton. You stole my change line, because that's what, I mean, 30 years, I just kept thinking, oh, my gosh, I mean, we know how much Delaware has grown and moved north, kept moving, and how it was 30 years ago versus today. I mean, yes, go ahead.
When I worked at Station 3, over in Lewis Center, the only thing that set there was a McDonald's and a Meijer store.
Oh, my gosh.
Changed a lot.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you so much, and have a wonderful trip.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you,
Drive carefully.
Captain.
Thank
Thank you,
very much.
Commissioners.
Does anyone else want to make a comment, or?
That's a good point, yeah. Shy, yeah.
They get very nervous to be in this room.
Well, I guess we feel pretty good right now. If we got sick right now, we'd be in good shape.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate it very
Thanks for
much.
coming.
Do you want to get a photo? We have the,
So you might need to go next door to get a photo there.
Just do one more. All right, great, thank you. Oh, sorry.
proceed.
Resolution number 18-435, in the matter of approving purchase orders, send and ask certificates, and payments of warrants in batch numbers CM APR 0420.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-435. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-436, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-436. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-437, in the matter of setting date, time, and place for the final hearing by the Commissioners for the Francher Road Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Lewis, seconded by Commissioner Benton. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-437. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-438, in the matter of canceling the Commissioners' sessions scheduled for Thursday, July 5th, 2018, and Monday, July 16th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-438. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-439, in the matter of acknowledging receipt of annexation petition from agent for the petitioner, Molly R. Gruen, requesting annexation of 61.614 acres of land in Scioto Township to the Village of Ostrander.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-439. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-440, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the lease agreement by and between the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities and the Board of County Commissioners on behalf of the Delaware County Sheriff's Office for certain real property located at 149 East Orange Road, Lewis Center, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Leslie Armstrong with Delaware County Sheriff's Office. This is the First Amendment for the lease. I'm here for any questions. I know that you've already reviewed it, but if you should have any questions, please let me know.
It is the same terms, I think?
It is the same terms, yes.
One more year.
I'm sorry.
One more year.
Correct.
Things are going well. I
Yes.
assume
Yes.
yeah, I
It's
know
worked
they-
out very, very nicely.
Yeah, it's good to have a presence there, and
It
I
is.
think DD appreciates the presence as well, so.
Yes.
Discussion additionally? If not, vote.
Vote on motion 18-440, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 18-441, in the matter of approving a contract and an addendum between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, and Stanley Convergent Security Systems Incorporated for intercom upgrades at the Delaware County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning again. This is a contract agreement between Delaware County Sheriff's Office and Stanley Convergent for upgrading existing intercom system. It's in great need of repairs. It also is a standard which is required by the Bureau of Adult Detention. So the current system is going to be upgraded. Again, we did not bid this out because it is an existing system. It stands alone. It is one contractor that can work on it. A lot better efficiency in terms of cost than replacing the entire intercom system, and that's why we took this avenue.
Any other questions or comments?
Was this budgeted?
It was in the budget, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Sorry.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-441, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Brings us to page 154. Resolution number 18-442, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Sheriff, and Physio Control Incorporated for maintenance for AED units throughout the jail and the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Again, any questions regarding this? This is our maintenance contract with Physio Control. It covers 22 of our AED units throughout the Sheriff's Office and jail. So any questions? Again, it is a renewal and a continued maintenance. It's about $8,700, and it was part of the budget.
Renewal is the same price?
I'm sorry, it's a little bit higher. It's, again, probably about, I think last year's was $8,600, so it's $8,700 this year.
Any other questions or
What
comments?
what does AED stand for?
What is it, automated?
Okay, I knew that. I was just testing. All right.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-442, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 18-443, in the matter of declaring personal property obsolete, unfit, or not needed for public use, and the intent of selling such property via internet auction or disposal of property of no value.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. We have a list of vehicles ready to be sold on GovDeals. So they've
Questions
been
or
removed
comments?
from service.
Kind of mileage on these, John?
High. I don't know the specific, but these are well-used vehicles. I don't anticipate getting a lot of sale money from
The
these.
Ford sedans, are these,
They're all old police cars.
okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-443, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 18-444, in the matter of purchasing ground maintenance equipment for use by the Facilities Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
We are kind of revising our grounds equipment fleet. Kind of say we've contracted out some of the outlining properties, so we're making some adjustments to our grounds equipment. We're trading in a couple front mount mowers, John Deere front mounts with attachments for that. And purchasing a compact utility tractor with a front end loader and a belly mower and spreader, and a zero turn mower. Part of this, we're trading in those two mowers. We're getting $18,000 trade-in for a mower that one's 10 years old. One's 7 years old and one's 17 years old. So we're getting about 40% return, credit and trade-in value for these equipment. So part of what we're doing with this grounds equipment too is we're purchasing these off state contract price. We get such a great deal off state contract, we can run these a couple of years. We'll look at trading them in a couple of years and hopefully at little to no cost be able to replace these equipment and keep them fresh.
Any questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-444. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-445, in the matter of appointing Theodore Clicker and reappointing Mindy Yocum to the Delaware County Board or Public Defender Commission.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Manager. Before you is the resolution to appoint Mr. Clacker, who would be new and brings very outstanding credentials with his background with the Ohio Public Defender Commission, and then reappointing Mindy Yocum, whom you first appointed last fall. So we recommend your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-445. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-446, in the matter of amending resolution number 011220, approving the method for selection of the Liberty Community Infrastructure Financing Authority Board of Trustees to provide flexibility in the date for the annual election of trustees, consistent with amendments to section 349.04 of the Ohio Revised Code since the adoption of resolution number 011220 on October 18th, 2001.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Eric, could you explain what you just read?
Eric Hostetler, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. When the Liberty Community Infrastructure Financing Authority, which is just an NCA, that's the term that they used when they established that. When that was established back in 2001, the statute required that any elected members of that board be elected at an election held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in December. Since that time, all of the appointed members they're now elected because of the population thresholds being met. And the board would like the flexibility under the now existing statute to have those elections on other days other than the first Tuesday after the first Monday in December. In order to have that flexibility, you would have to revise the resolution you adopted, or your predecessors adopted in 2001, to allow them to do that.
Any questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-446. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Next, we have Patrick Brandt, Director of Emergency Communications, updating us on a 911.
I'd ask Patrick to come today and just update us based on the memo he sent us last week.
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt with the 911 Center. What we have for you today is actually almost a year ago today, you guys signed a contract with West Corporation to provide text 911 service to Delaware County. It's actually on the 24th of 2017. So we're almost a year from the date when you guys signed that contract. That system is up and live as we speak today. Text 911 calls can be made into the county by all 4 major carriers. We've tested it. We've been certified by West to be able to provide text 911 service. Looking at the information I have from the state of Ohio, it appears we could be either number 10 or number 11. Most of the ones in the state of Ohio, the counties, there's 2 up in the north, Cuyahoga and Geauga County. The rest of them are down towards Butler, Hamilton, Warren, in that area of the state of Ohio that does it. So we're right in line to be right where we should be. As we say in our industry, it's always preferred to call. Call if you can, only text if you can. As you've seen in the situation out in Kirkersville, the guy, they didn't have text 911, that's fine, but they had where the officer was shot, he still left the cell phone open. The dispatchers could hear the content, what was being said. The volume that comes through and that we can relay what's going on is always better. Accuracy with text 911 is not always precise. Under FCC rules and regulations, anything can be from 50 to 300 meters. That's a pretty big distance when you're trying to find somebody, so we need to know their location. So that is our biggest thing for you today is text 911 service is available. If for some reason the service goes down due to our provider or such, the resident or whoever is texting us will get an automatic bounce back saying it's unavailable, you must call. So we have tested out where the links, we have dual redundant links coming in. If some failure does happen or the carrier has an issue, it does give them a bounce back. And I actually tried one of those this morning from down the Polaris area, which obviously under our coverage area for 911 is everything excluding Dublin, Westerville, and Columbus in Delaware County. I was actually down in the Polaris area this morning to do a test one, and it did get the bounce back saying it's unavailable in this area, which is correct. That is not our service providing area, that's the city of Columbus. So that's your one of your updates this morning. And one other update I was going to bounce off, or just let the people know and let you guys know, is how Commissioner Benton brought up the AED, where they're getting theirs renewed and stuff. There's actually an AED registry out on our website for people, for businesses and such, that if you have an AED in your business, let us know where they're at. If you call in and say you're having a heart attack right now and somebody's here having a heart problem, we can tell you the AED's right out by the receptionist. Most people in time of need don't remember where they're at or don't remember what they are and what they need to do. CPR is good, but the AED is even better. It gets your heart going. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to help you out.
So may I see if I understand what you're saying? If I had an unfortunate incident and the next door business had the equipment, and theoretically you would know that and that could be made available, or?
On the way of the AED, no, we'd know by, if you called in and said you're at 10 Court Street or 101 North Sandusky, we have it listed for this building. Same as if you were Nationwide or one of those other Chase buildings, we could say, hey, there's an AED we showing on the first floor. Even the Delaware County Library, they've sent us their stuff. We can say it's out by this area at the
Within the building,
library.
you'd be able to identify where it's
Correct.
located.
Yes, it's only per the building.
Businesses should call in if they have one?
They can go to our website and do the registry right on our website.
great.
And my staff will
Okay.
get back in touch with them.
Boy, that's important.
So yes, the AED, it's a big thing out there, especially getting your heart restarted as quick as you can.
Is there a way to identify who these people are, maybe through the manufacturers, if they could provide a list of people they sold them to?
Some of the manufacturers are sending us notices now, but not many. So
A request we could make and see if they.
we could reach out to them and see if they'll provide it, because most of them are private industries and it's not open to public information for them to share it. It's more if they want to share. So
Who in central Ohio, Patrick, has this text to 911 service available now?
no one.
So we are the first.
We are the first
Okay.
one in central
I
Ohio.
knew Columbus, Dublin, Westerville didn't have it yet, although
Correct.
they're getting close.
They are getting close. As you saw in the newspaper, they are getting close. They have not turned it on yet, as they're all with the Franklin County 911 plan. But we are the first in the central Ohio market.
Okay, well, good,
Congratulations.
yeah, good leadership.
Took us a little
on
bit
your
of
part.
time to get it done, but we have it up and running, and that's a big thing for our residents. Especially, the biggest thing it's going to help is the hearing impaired. The hearing impaired have been dealing with the TTY boxes from 1964 when that thing was originally invented. That's pretty sad that we're just now getting something. I mean, they have a relay service that they can call into, and we get those, and we still get text calls, TTY calls, because we do testing on it every 6 months. Staff has to go through recertification, make sure they train on it. We have to document that they trained on it. So, but yeah, those people have been left in the dust for a long time. So those people will help out very well, the hearing impaired and people with speech difficulties.
So how do we make our residents aware of this? What's the best approach?
We are working with Miss Jane to do a public information release on it, to get that out to all the residents, of saying this is what we have, and that it's available to you. I can tell you, it's been on as we've been testing with it in training, because we had to do a lot of testing and training. It's been on, we had probably 5 or 6 in the last several weeks of, I don't understand how you pocket dial text 911 yet. I've had my kid try this and we can't succeed, but there are some people who quote pocket dials. So yeah, it's just getting the word out and telling the people that it's there. I'll work with Jane on a campaign with that, and we'll try to get some information out, obviously, through the media and such. Biggest thing is location. Depending on what carrier you have, depending on what carrier it is depending on how close we can get accuracy of where you're at. Weather condition, building conditions. Sprint Sprint and US Cellular are the only two that actually can send pictures and video to us. I don't know why that is, but I can tell you from our vendor talking to them, those are the only two that in the US that can do video and text. And we have tested that, and we have sent pictures in, and as soon as the picture comes in, it notifies the dispatcher that, hey, one's being sent, and then it forwards it to an email account that we have to go retrieve it from. So it doesn't pop up on the 911 call screen. We actually have to retrieve it from an email account.
Patrick, you indicated that voice is always better.
Yes.
So can you give an example where texting might be a better option because of some issue? Because what you don't want to do is encourage people to text in lieu of.
No, and then they're going to text and drive, as you always can already predict this one. Because, you know, hey, texting is the biggest thing for your hearing impaired. If you're some type of kidnapping situation, I could see it. Some type of burglary in progress type situation, where you're hiding and you want to be hidden. But even on those, once they get the initial call out to us and saying, hey, this is what's going on, if you could call 911, at least leave it open so we can hear what's going on in the background. You don't have to talk, but we can hear. You can text us still. But if we can hear what's going on, it's still always better. But I think in your biggest two cases, it'd be almost like some type of burglary in progress deal where you want to be absolutely silent, or some type of kidnapping situation.
Would you send out an alert in that example you just gave, encouraging somebody to call and leave the phone open? At that point, would you have an alert that would go back to them?
You'd have to communicate with them and say, hey, what kind of situation they're in. Do you feel comfortable, can you at least call and leave the phone open? I think it was in the Kirkersville incident where the guy had it hidden in his hat, I want to say. He had the phone, and you can hear the guy saying the guy that was reporting it saying what was going on. That's a primary example where we could hear what was going on in the background of something like that situation. I think your biggest one right now is the hearing impaired. That would help.
What about the southern part of Harlem or Genoa
They're fine.
with the, okay.
Yep. It'll cover, we had to, the cell towers, all the cell towers have been updated that if your wireless 911 call would have came to us, your text call will come to us. And that's how they more or less formulate off of that. They also do it off of a polygon. If they can get your cell phone location right away when they text it in, off that polygon that we had Auditor Kites' office submit to our vendor, they can look and say, hey, do you fall within inside this polygon area? If yes, then send it to us. If no, deny it.
Will it go, though, to the tower on Smothers first? I mean, in other words, like to text?
Well, it depends. It all depends whatever closest tower you are to it.
Okay. Yeah,
You're talking over at Sunbury Road and Smothers Road, right there at
Yeah.
the water. We have the north face of that, the south side of it goes to Westerville.
Okay.
Yes. So we would have, I think it's a northeast coordinate of it. The southeast, southwest, and the northwest would all go to Westerville.
Northeast goes to you.
Northeast would go to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Great.
That brings us to item number 18, resolution number 18-447, in the matter of approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the Village of Sunbury.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. This agreement, this cooperative, intergovernment cooperation agreement with the Village of Sunbury and the county is for sanitary sewer service in the southern interchange, proposed southern interchange area in the, near 3637 in the Berkshire Township and Sunbury area. When the original plan for sewer in this area was for the developers for the interchange to extend roughly $10 million sewer to service that area. And with the county services being a fraction of the cost within a much closer proximity. The agreement is set up so that the county will be paid, in full for our tap fees and our service charges based on an ERU basis. I think it really reduces some overlap of infrastructure that was going to occur. And also with us planning our new Central Alum Creek facility, we'll be able to recoup about 50% of the capacity fees needed to build that new facility. So I think it's a really nice agreement in that it helps a lot of the parties and hopefully will allow that area to develop, over the next few years, so.
I'd just like to thank you so much. You put in a heck of a lot of work on this with your dual hats.
Yeah, there've been a lot of people working on this for a long time, so it's great to see it finally get to the finish line. And, this will really enable that area to grow and further develop, you know, which we've all been planning for some time.
Not only that, it also allows for growth elsewhere because capacity that would have gone south can now go to that area. So it really has an indirect benefit for the whole county or a good portion of the county.
That 36 corridor, certainly.
It's a big deal.
And a lot of discussions over the last 12 to 18 months on this topic.
Yeah, and I think it'll be nice to work with, you know, I've met with the representatives for the village, but I think to enter in, you know, over my 2 years here, but I think it'll be good to have an agreement where we're working with them on, you know, some development in that area, so.
Vote?
Vote on motion 18-447. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
And item number 19 is next. We do have one that's slightly revised from the one that we were presented on Friday. So, resolution number 18-448, in the matter of approving and authorizing the county administrator to execute a limited access easement agreement by and between the Village of Sunbury, Ohio, the County of Delaware, Ohio, and Northgate Land Company 1, LLC.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Yeah, Commissioners, on this agreement, this is regarding the Wilson Road limited access. The county engineer's office, the village, the developer, Northgate, and I know Eric has been very involved with these discussions. And, you know, really the core of it is there's a moratorium on future development beyond what was approved in the original traffic study and with the Northgate. So it'll allow this development to access that right away, but it will not create an open-ended situation where development will rapidly occur in that area and create more traffic issues without the interchange. I don't know, Eric, if there's anything you want to add further.
Sure, I would also point out that this agreement calls for 100, assuming the timeline for ODOT's project holds, 100% of the TIF revenue from this development site will go towards the interchange. So that's the other important part of this. And once the interchange is there, that moratorium will be lifted, because then obviously there would be more capacity for traffic to go through that area than just through Wilson Road up to the existing interchange, which is already at a failing status.
Any other questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-448. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Mr. Palmer?
Yeah. Commissioners, one of the things that have been mentioned, I think, during various presentations and different discussions by the county engineer's office is the exploration of a transportation improvement district. And I know that previously during meetings that it was encouraged by you all to look further at it. I think we've gotten to a point where myself and on the county engineer side, we're very comfortable that it would be a really good development tool, as well as a large project vehicle for transportation improvement projects within the county. So I think at this point, we just kind of wanted to get your feedback. You know, the next step would be to prepare some policies and legislation for formation of the improvement district, but just wanted to kind of get back with you. We feel like we've done our ground truthing on the staff level and feel like it's going to be a really good fit for the county, but wanted to get your guys' input before we move forward.
Mr. Bossman is out of town this week, but we felt it was necessary to have this dialogue so we can move fairly quickly when everybody's back next week from Thursday. And so, any comments or observations from fellow commissioners?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. We have spent a lot of time talking about this and studying it. We've met at Morpsey with one of the legal experts, the statewide legal experts, who, you know, familiarized us in more detail about the the powers that a TID has. I think it can be very helpful to our county, a county that's growing quickly, needs more infrastructure. They do have some really good powers to speed it along and at a lower cost, both of which I think are significant benefits to the county and the residents. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and I support it and would like to see it move forward. So thanks again for keep pushing this thing so it does get done.
Commissioner Lewis.
Well, we're all aware of the difficulty in getting from the east to the western part of the county, especially me, living in the eastern part of the county, going to meetings in the western part of the county. It's a lot easier to go up and down, north and south, and east and west, and so the TID does provide several pluses for us in that projects can be speeded up also at a lower cost, and so we really do have to be very cognizant of doing everything we can so that we do have better infrastructure. So I support this.
Yeah, this is just one more tool that the county can use, and I had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Bossman before he left town. He's aware we're going to have a conversation today just to provide some direction for all the parties that will be involved in this. So I also am supportive. Obviously, the final agreement will have an impact on how we all view it until we see that. I did suggest, I think there's a five-man board that, my perspective, I would like to see a commissioner as part of that five-man board. I do not know how the other two commissioners feel. You may want to talk to them individually. And of course, that all had to come together in as we talk about this next Thursday week. But I'm excited. I think it's great. And I know Mr. Bossman, he and I went to Butler County about 2 years ago. And at that time, there were some reservations. But I think those answers to questions have all been given. And it's my impression that our county engineer is fully supportive as well. So with that.
Yeah, I would like to just thank Engineer Bosman for his leadership on this, and Rob Riley's been instrumental. I think there are 33 counties in the state that have one. A lot of them aren't active, particularly, but I think ours will be very active. Licking County, I know I had a conversation with Tim Bubb, the commissioner over there, and they are thrilled with theirs. They're getting some really good development done that is attracting some really attractive businesses to specific areas that they're targeting that they would not have gotten had they not had this in place. So again, I think in the real world it works very well, and it's encouraging. So I want to see it move forward.
So I think you have your direction.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, nothing else?
Mr. Lewis.
Yes, Commissioner John O'Grady from Franklin County and I presented before the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, and this is what we talked about is lending moral support to a partnership that has already been put together by the Ohio School Boards Association. Actually, that association is headquartered here in Delaware County. And so, but the School Boards Association asked us to, they wanted the input from county commissioners, and so Commissioner O'Grady and I went to this meeting last Friday and did receive the support to go ahead and offer really start a dialogue with the school board, and not only with school boards. The school boards, I think I mentioned this the other day, there are like 714 school boards throughout the state, but they have gotten together with 18 other groups, and the purpose of this is to stem school violence, and to the first thing they want to do is have a summit September 10th at the convention center, Columbus Convention Center, in which the groups are statewide groups such as National Alliance on Mental Illness Ohio. You have Ohio Association of School Business Officials, public school employees, law enforcement, Ohio Federation of Teachers, to really learn, resource officers too, to learn, everyone learns from each other and comes up with a plan to improve school safety in the state. There are about 1.7 million school children. And the other reason to have a dialogue is because some of these school boards and some of the organizations don't know about our JFS and what we offer. And of course, we're confronted with this problem when you send kiddos to school and they're either in foster homes or they go from foster home to foster home, and it all ties in too with the opioid epidemic. When you have kids here again who are subjected to an environment in which there are drugs and sometimes no parents. So anyway, the collaboration, I think, will prove beneficial. And that's it.
Just a couple things. We went to Morpsey last Thursday, the State of the Region luncheon, and a lot of good news. The main speaker spoke about kind of walkable neighborhoods and big cities trying to consolidate into very dense populations. So doesn't really apply a whole lot to Delaware County at this point, although obviously the Evans Farm is partially to emulate that approach to.
She was from Toronto.
Yeah, she was from Toronto, which has a very dense core city, and talked about their initiatives to plan for that and manage it. So I think Toronto's done a really nice job with it, but again, I didn't think it particularly applied to Delaware County, but it was very interesting. And they talked about a lot of the good things going on in Central Ohio, and certainly great to hear that. Went to a couple CCAO Taxation and Finance Committee meetings, Thursday and Friday, joint meetings with other committees. The CCAO's main initiatives on the budget in particular are this idea of replacing or transferring the Board of Elections and, I got it right this time, Board of Elections.
You did.
Indigent defense to the state to have control and responsibility for in exchange for foregoing the local government fund, which most counties would benefit financially from, but I think everyone's got their eyes open that it could cause other issues, so it will be very carefully studied. They're also targeting to replace the managed care organization sales tax from Medicaid, which we lost. They're targeting getting increased funding for opiates, the opiate epidemic and handling that, transportation funding and so on. But what was lacking in the presentation Friday anyway was that they aren't doing anything on the cost side to make government more efficient, make government have options to save money and so on, because there are a number of options available that they are not actively pursuing, which is disappointing. But so anyway, that's all I got.
About three things. In the CCO meeting on Friday, I'm the board member, there was a discussion about OSU extension. Apparently, they're going through a discussion about reorganizing, and I have a copy of that material. You were there, so I'm not sure you got one or not.
I've got one, yeah.
I asked that it be delayed. They wanted a vote to support the reorganization. I asked that it be delayed. I felt that the local OSU extensions, and I didn't know a thing about it, nor did anyone else in the room on the board seem to know much about it. It seemed appropriate that we at least have a conversation with our local OSU extension officers before we voted on it. And I have set up a meeting with Rob this week for that purpose. You two may want to have your own individual meetings.
What's the impetus behind this?
I can tell you what the committee report was. Basically, be more efficient. For example, Delaware County is going to be combined with Morrow and Knox, and out of those three counties, which would be true in all these other areas as well, we're number 13. There will be someone identified to be the leader in all three counties. And so there'll be some changes in how it's organized and the structure. But again, all we had was the committee's recommendation. Having not heard from our local extension office, I thought it was appropriate that all 88 counties should do that. And there was general agreement to that, and it was readily agreed that we should delay it. So it will be discussed in next month's meeting, and based on the committee's recommendation to support it, I'm assuming the recommendation will remain to support it. Again, I'm meeting with, I called Mr. Leeds when I got back Friday, and we're getting together tomorrow.
So each county right now has their own extension office, is that? Okay.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
That's how we have
I
it
know
here.
we
I
do,
assume it's
but-
replicated in all 88.
Ours, I think, it does a really good job under Rob's leadership.
Right,
And
right.
a leader in the state as well as locally. And you know, combinations like this are always dicey.
Yeah,
Whether you
yeah.
actually get any savings or not is oftentimes an issue, number one. Number two, does it dilute our county's efforts? So anyway, I would have a number of concerns.
Those are all
I know-
reasonable questions that led me to say
Yeah.
we should delay it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also my reason to encourage each of you to reach out to ask your questions as well, just to,
Right.
and then let me know how you feel about it. Perhaps in session, be appropriate, and so we can
Yeah,
address it next month's meeting. And I'm also meeting, I have not set it up yet, I'm setting up a meeting to meet with Source Point regarding the Veterans event in November. There's some questions that we need to get some clarity on, so I'll let you know more on that when I know more. And I believe that is everything I have today. So with that, I would think we have need for executive session, is that correct?
We do have need for executive session, and we have an item after executive session also on our agenda. Resolution number 18-449, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of compensation of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 18-449. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Here, use this mine, then.
We are now in executive session. That's your.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Wow.
Resolution number 18-450, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-450. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Murrell is absent. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We do have other need for business.
Yes.
Resolution number 18-451, in the matter of approving contracts of sale and purchase for Keith and Elsie Henshaw for the project known as DEL-CR 13-1.65, and for Lewis Internet United Methodist Church and Susan Hall for the project known as DEL-CR 106.0.44.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-451. Mr. Merrill, still absent. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. And this afternoon, we have a viewing for consideration of the Kingston Township watershed and drainage improvement petition, and starting in the vicinity of 9225 Todd Road, Sunbury, Ohio. And we will therefore recess until 1:30.
So we're in recess.